5 mistakes that keep you stuck in a weight loss stall. So maybe you're eating less, working out harder, maybe even trying low carb, but the scale still won't budge. You're not broken. You're just making some really common mistakes that stall weight loss, especially up to 50 and for Gen X. And today I'm going to share the 5 biggest ones I see with my clients and what to do instead. Hi, I'm Lori Ballou, functional diagnostic nutrition practitioner. I've lost 100 pounds and reversed my diabetes risk. And now at 62, I hike half marathons and I can hike the Grand Canyon and I feel amazing, confident, and beautiful in my body. And my passion is helping women over 50 to reverse their weight loss, to get rid of the weight, to shed the excess, and restore your energy, thrive with low-carb nutrition. That's why I created the holistic low-carb method. And I do this with functional labs as well so that we don't have to guess. You get clarity with testing to find your hidden weight loss blocks and hidden healing opportunities. So even though you might feel stuck with your weight loss, here are the 5 simple steps that you can do to function and start losing that weight. So mistake number 1. Ready? Okay, here we go. Overdoing cardio. That's stress. If you're overdoing cardio and you're creating too much stress in your body, you're raising your cortisol levels, and that can stall you out and create more of an insulin resistant state in your body where your body is actually raising insulin levels. And if you've got too much insulin levels in your blood system, what's going to happen is you're going to be stalled and you're not going to burn the fat you want to burn, but you're going to actually maybe set yourself up for being more in a catabolic state where you're breaking down and breaking down your muscle. And so that's not a good place to be. That's when you feel stuck, but you're just not burning the fat. And we don't want punishment when we're doing our exercise. What we want to do is less exercise and focus more on strength training, getting out and walking and hiking. That's what I do because that reduces your stress load, even though the hiking could be rigorous if you're going up mountains and ridge lines like I do. And another thing is short bursts like sprints actually reduce visceral fat in the body in short time. You could just do it quickly. And a sprint can be a little bit faster than your run, just as fast as you can go. Really quick, like a couple of houses down the street or down a driveway. And just remember that we don't need to run 5 and 10 miles a day. We don't have to get on the treadmill and run for an hour. We actually can do things in 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes and actually get the movement and the strength training that we need to do to get our fat loss, but we don't want to over cardio. Okay, mistake number 2, cutting calories too low. You do need to balance your basal metabolic rate. What is the energy that you need to use your body to have a metabolism that is strong and vigorous and workable? And so when you slash your calories, your thyroid slows down, you slash your basal metabolic rate, because what ends up happening is you lower your metabolism. So when you lower your metabolism, it's not going to burn as fast as you would like it to. So your body will compensate. And when your body compensates, what happens is you have a slower metabolism. And so you could eat the same amount of calories and you will gain weight. And so then you have to keep lowering and lowering and lowering your calories, just like the biggest losers. That's what happened with them, is they lowered their calories so far and they lowered their metabolism. And so then you can't eat very much. And then that just makes you hungry, and willpower just doesn't work at that point. You will gain all the weight back. So we want to be aware that we don't want to cut our calories per se too low. And what we want to do is fuel with nutrient-dense foods so that it feels safe to let go of the fat. And here is, basically cutting the calories too low. What we want to focus on is there's 2 types of fuel your carbs and your fat. So what you want is a good natural fat that helps you absorb your nutrients, but cutting the carbs so that you could utilize the fat, and therefore your calories will balance out. So that's what you want to focus on, because we want to make sure that our metabolism is functioning. So mistake number 3, not eating enough protein, not getting the building blocks you need to build hair, skin, and nails. You want good quality fingernails that not cracking. And protein builds your body up. It helps you detoxify. It helps you build muscle and stay stronger. And when you get into maintenance, that muscle that you're building is going to let you have more calories, more carbohydrates, and you can then build more of your carb code and create that aging beautifully and adventurous lifestyle with low carb nutrition, but balancing out what it is that you can create because you built muscle. And what we need to do is maximize protein. Prioritize protein over carbohydrates, especially in the morning. If you start with carbohydrates in the morning, you're going to turn your insulin levels on, and you don't want to do that. You want to keep insulin low, and you want to bring in your good quality fats to help fuel ketone production and fat burning, and then also bring in the protein, that 30 grams of protein, to help maintain building muscle synthesis. So that's how much is expected that we need. So you want to go protein forward, get animal protein in every meal, 30 grams of protein when you eat. We do really want to strive for at least 100 grams of protein a day. And so that's looking at a minimum of 30 grams of protein per meal. And if you're doing only 2 meals a day, excuse me, sorry about that. So if you're doing 2 meals a day, you want to shoot for 45 to 50 grams of protein a day, because you need more, not less. And if you want to have a body that's building and not being catabolic, you want it to function. You want to be able to detox. You want to be able to have the protein create the muscles that you need to have. And so you use protein as a lever, and you reduce the carbohydrates and you bring in the protein. Now, that is something that you can do slowly, or you can do it fast. So that's getting on a low carb diet. You don't have to go straight to carnivore or keto, but this is something where you can play with, get your carb, go into Carb Manager and create your macros, and start just tracking what you're doing. All right. Keeping carbs too high, that's got to be number 4. So even healthy carbs can keep insulin high, especially for insulin resistance. Like back when I first started low carb dieting or low carb lifestyle, I was still eating dried fruit, but I was insulin resistant. I was pre-diabetic and had been so for a good 20 years. Looking back at all the symptoms that I had PCOS in my mid-30s. So even adding fruit at that point of time, or even potatoes and high starchy vegetables, could be too much for your insulin levels, for your insulin resistance. And then at that point you need to reset insulin resistance, and then you may have to keep carbs lower. And so you want to eat lower glycemic fruits and vegetables. You may have to ditch fruits for the first 3 months just to get your body prepped so you can get that 10 to 20 pounds of weight loss, reduce the insulin resistance, become more insulin sensitive, and then create your carb code. So that's what you want to focus on, because healthy carbs, they can be healthy for one person and not another. So they weren't healthy for me when I was 185 pounds, still struggling to stay under 200 pounds. Before I lost all 100 pounds, I had to reduce the carbohydrates strictly to get under control, to get my carbohydrates under control, my cravings under control, and to turn myself into a fat burner. So that's what you want to focus on. So you just want to keep those carbs low enough to lower that insulin. And one of my favorite hacks is using C8 MCT oil. So therefore you get the good fat, and it helps you create more ketones. It helps you keep your cravings and hunger under control. And that way you can be a fat burner, stop the hunger and the cravings, get the good quality fat. It fights candida. It's good for the body. And, combine that with some protein for breakfast, like eggs, some avocado, salmon, beef, breakfast sausages, bacon. Just get the protein in your diet and add a tablespoon of fat to every meal, even if it's olive oil. So if you're concerned about the fat in the diet, what you want to be concerned about is replacing vegetable seed oils, which are inflammatory, with the natural fats, and then that's going to support you. Okay. Number 5 is guessing about what you need to do rather than testing. So when you test to find out specifically what your weight loss blocks are and where your hidden healing opportunities are, you can actually lose weight quicker. In 3 months to 6 months, get your body jump started, healing healthier, faster when you test and not guess to find out where your weight loss blocks are. So you're not broken, you're just blocked. Those are blocks. And until you test, you just won't know what's stopping that fat loss. So if you want more rapid fat loss, what we need to do is dial in your minerals, find out what your food sensitivities are, address the gas and bloating and indigestion and digestive issues, and to get that corrected, and then correct the downstream issues that you got going on in your gut, and see how we can support thyroid and adrenal hormones, and then start looking at balancing your hormones overall, because that's kind of the last step after you work on the root cause problems of indigestion, diet, and gut dysfunction. So that's going to help you clear up those weight loss blocks pretty quickly. So just remember, if you're stuck, it's probably not willpower. You're not broken. It's probably one of these 5 mistakes that you're not completely aware of, or maybe you've heard of 1 or 2 and you have addressed one but not the others. So the good news is they can all be fixed. So you can do all of this. And if you're ready for those simple steps, I'm having a free 5-day Metabolic Reset challenge. And it's going to be October 13th for 5 days. It starts at 5 p.m. Monday, October 13th. It's free. And if you would like the link, just DM me here and say link, and I will send you that link so you can sign up, because we start soon. And this is one of the best ways to stop guessing. Stop stalling out on that weight loss, start thriving, just get that reset. And, we're going to address the things that need to be addressed. And I will get on a call with you as soon as you sign up, a 10 to 15 minute triage call to find out what's going on in your body. What is your main concern? How can I support you? That call is free, because I want to come into this call with you with the power that you need to get yourself to the next level. And then after that, we can discuss next steps, because I am going to have a group program coming up soon too. So I'm really excited to be able to offer that. So remember what the steps were. So it's mistake number 1. Overdoing cardio and excess exercise. Don't need to do that. I don't. I exercise at home. I hike and I walk, and I'm getting muscular and stronger all the time. Cutting your calories too low. I do not cut calories. I don't even get enough calories probably, because I'm only eating about 2 meals a day. And if I feel like I need more fuel, what I'm going to do is pull in extra MCT oil, like I did with my drink. And I put perfect aminos in here, so there's extra protein, because that helps me turn on my brain. And then not eating enough protein. So today I've had 3 eggs and a half of a ground beef patty for breakfast with a tablespoon of bacon fat. So that was breakfast, and I had a can of sardines. So there was a lot of protein there. And for a snack, just to get my brain jump start, I had an extra cup of coffee and a couple of keto chocolate chip cookies that I make. You want that recipe? Let me know. Just drop recipe below. Guessing instead of testing is number 5, but let's get back to number 4. Number 4 is keeping your carbs too high. Even fruit can throw your carb levels off and keep you a sugar burner rather than a fat burner. We want to keep your carbs low in the beginning and then build your carb code as you drop that 20 pounds, and you get to create your carb code and see where it lands. It depends on your insulin resistance and how you get back to insulin sensitivity. And that also is about your movement and your muscle mass. So that's all correlated together. All of these kind of work together. They go together hand in hand. 5 mistakes, 1 hand. Okay, and then guessing instead of testing. If you want to get this done quicker, we can get it done faster. And so that's when we pull in the labs to find out what's going on in your body, find your weight loss blocks, and get rid of that gas and that bloating, correct that brain fog, stop the pain of inflammation, bring your energy back online, shed all that excess, the inflammation, the fluffiness, the puffiness, get rid of all of it, so you can feel confident and beautiful in your body again in no time at all. So this is something we're doing this year. So October 13th, 5-day Metabolic Reset Challenge. It's free. Come join me. Ask for the link. Let me know you're interested. I'd love to support you because you don't want to go into the holidays feeling stuffy, puffy, fluffy, and just inflamed. Let's get it organized so you can get into the holidays feeling in control, confident, and feeling beautiful in your body. All right, I've got you. Just drop reset below and I'll get back to you.